This is a very unique situation out of Indianapolis. A fast food worker receives a report from a citizen saying that there's a woman out in their parking lot who's screaming. The officers arrive on scene. They find a semi-truck. They attempt to make contact. They see a man moving back and forth through a curtain that separates the cab from the sleeper. He refuses to answer them. When the officer moves forward, he hears a woman inside the sleeper screaming. The officer then attempts to make entry by breaking the window. The suspect threatens to kill the woman. He's armed with a knife. The officers then create distance, set up a perimeter, and attempt to negotiate with him to get him to exit the vehicle utilizing the PA. When that fails to occur, a lieutenant, apparently trained in negotiations, arrives on scene. Eventually, he makes the decision to go into the confined, elevated cab in order to deal with the suspect. When he gets inside, he sees the man laying on top of the woman. The man is threatening to kill the woman. The officer fires, shoots, and kills the suspect. The woman is taken out of the vehicle, and it's found out later that she's been held inside that vehicle for the last 6 hours, being beaten and stabbed. So, out of this scenario, here's some important points. Number one, always make sure that you have something on you that you can break a window with. The officer had to borrow a baton in this particular case. You can go to the hardware store and you could buy a spring-loaded punch for a few dollars. It'll fit inside your pocket like a pen. You can carry it with you all the time. Anytime we're dealing with a situation, we always have those considerations. Do I hold where I'm at? Do I move forward? Or do I back up? In this particular situation, you see all three. Those decisions are going to be based upon what the suspect does and the threats they make. And you see that interplay throughout this entire scenario. Now, when the officer decides to go up into the truck, he's going into that elevated, tight confines. The officers behind him have to know what the escape plan is. If he has to get out of there suddenly because the suspect attacks him, he doesn't want to be pinned in position by the officers behind. So always have an escape plan before you go into situations like that. Now, I want you to imagine what it would be like sitting backwards in that seat, in that cab, with one arm attempting to do a rescue shot. Now, as we've already said, that's a very precarious situation. You need to practice taking your shots from awkward positions. The range is a great place to shoot at, but it isn't necessarily always going to provide you with the situations that are realistic that you'll find out in the real world. In this particular case, the negotiator had to go into the cab and be not just the negotiator, but also the rescue team. Be prepared to talk and to shoot, and know when to do each. And the last thing that I would say about this scenario or any other scenario that we watch is very simple. According to my friend Brian Willis, who says anytime you hear a cop say, well, I woulda or he shoulda, what follows after that is BS. And why is that? We have the opportunity to sit and watch a video in the cool, calm setting that we're in. We're not under that level of stress. We already know how it turns out. We already know what's going to happen. We have that 20/20 hindsight that the officers on scene under that level of stress don't have. So they have to deal with what they have based on what they know under the level of stress that they're at. So anytime you're watching a scenario like this, be considerate of this. What I want you to do is look at the situation and learn from the things we talk about. So should this happen to you, you're better prepared to deal with it.